Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator. Joining me now is Michael of Black Gay Comic Geek. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you so much for having me.
It is a pleasure to have you here with me today. I'm excited for us to chat and, get into all things comic, get into all things black and gay.
That is what I'm here to talk about. Like my motto is how to make it blacker, how to make it gayer. That's all.
I love that. All right, well, the first thing we love to do here is just having our guests introduce themselves to our audience and let them know a little bit about your background and experience and what you do. So let's kick it off with that.
Okay, well, hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Michael, and I call myself Black Gay Comic Geek, like it says on the shirt. And I always say that the things that I'm a content creator. I review movies, TV shows, video games, et cetera, et cetera. And I always say the things I love to talk about on my channel, the content that I generally make, I enjoy things with blood, sex, gore, and magic. So I talk superheroes, video games, action movies, horror movies, sci-fi, fantasy, and of course, Black representation and queer representation, Black Gay Comic Geek. That's who I am. So yes, that's the bulk of my content.
Awesome. And how long have you been, creating content, deemed for the nerd universe?
I made my YouTube channel in 2019. That's when I started. And before that, I actually started creating content because somebody I know, he ran a podcast, and one day we went to the movies together to go see John Wick 2. And one day he was like, I kind of want to talk about this movie. Do you want to come on my podcast? And I'm like, I've never done anything like that before, but sure. And I was super nervous. I can go back and listen to that first episode. I'm like, I didn't know what was going on, but we had good chemistry. And then he eventually asked me to become a permanent co-host on the show. And so like that's how I started like this in this avenue of creating content. And then I started to be like, I really like doing this.
Yeah, yes.
And so eventually I branched off because there's things that I was interested in that he wasn't interested in, or things that I watched that he didn't want to. But so eventually I started making my own channel. And then, yeah, that's where we're 4 years later, here we are.
Awesome. Now, tell me, Black Gay Comic Geek, why did you want to make sure that the Black and the gay was there and stood out and was a part of your brand?
Because that's essentially who I am. Like, I feel like the name tells you everything that you need to know. The moment you come to the channel, like you're gonna know. Obviously, I'm Black. And plus, that's the first thing that you see before you even know anything about me. You're gonna know I'm Black. So, of course, it's important to have that first, and then like, also, I'm a big person on like representation matters. And then I also, with that, I feel like representation also equals normalization. And so also part of the reason why I've put myself out there to start creating content is because a lot of us are consumers of entertainment and media. A lot of us, we all watch YouTube and things like that. And me being a big movie person, like a lot of the people that are like reviewing movies or talking about comics, like a lot of them are straight white men specifically. But then when you do find Black nerd creators or Black movie reviewers, a lot of them are straight as well. So there are things that I'm interested in, or I wanted to hear talk about that nobody was talking about, or characters that I'm like, what about this person? Or they overlook certain things, and I'm like, well, almost in the Thanos type of way with Avengers Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron is like, well, you want something done, you got to do it yourself. So that's another reason why I put myself out there.
I agree. As someone who grew up, obsessed with superheroes, obsessed with magic and fantasy and science fiction as well, I consume a lot of that content. Like if you open my YouTube, I literally was just watching just a while ago this whole breakdown of the Across the Spider-Verse trailer, right?
Okay.
And someone
no spoiler, because I didn't watch the trailer, because it's gotten to the point I do not watch any more Marvel and DC trailers, specifically Marvel and DC. I'll watch any other trailers, but like I feel like Marvel and DC, they show too much. They show way too much. So I stopped
But this one was
watching.
more of a teaser, so there's not a lot to garner. So I was watching a
Okay.
breakdown. So I'm someone who consumes that type of content, and you are right. There's many times, it's done by straight white men. If it's not straight white men, it's if I watch black content creators, many times they are not gay, and sometimes I want someone who is close to me to talk about the things that other people aren't talking about, the things that they want to see, the things that they see differently than, some of these other content creators might see. So I feel like that is so important. Tell me, right now,
And I was gonna say really quick, sorry, not to cut,
yeah,
but
go ahead.
not even just that, but like also like I want somebody to be as superficial, like in a superficial type of way when like you're watching people's like, oh yeah, did you see Black Widow? She was hot. No, I want you to be like, I want to hear somebody be like, no, Jonathan Majors, that scene when he took his shirt
Yes.
off, I was like sipping my water, thirsty, like. That's the type of
Yes.
That's the type of content I want.
Agreed. Which is why this representation is so important. For you, what would you say is your favorite superhero currently? Because I know for many people it changes. Who are you vibing with currently right now? Whether it's based on their comics or TV show or movie, who are you vibing with right now the most? Who gets you going?
Right now, only because, and this is not, it's not a superhero show, but like only because it's like it's my second favorite show of the year, and it is fantasy based. Right now, who gets me going is Louis from Interview with the Vampire. Played by Jacob Anderson.
Yes. I binged that show. That was Interview with a Vampire. Really one of the best shows of the year, actually. And it was really great to see, just how much they changed it up from the 1994 movie.
Yeah, I'm disappointed it didn't get a Golden Globe nomination.
Oh yes, they didn't
Because
get.
I thought the show was incredible.
Yes, certain. And are you planning to watch Mayfair Witches when that comes out as well?
I actually have the first 5 episodes.
Oh,
I just haven't watched them yet because I want to try to read but the book is thick. That's what he said. But like that book is huge, so I'm probably not going to be able to get through it before, because I wanted to read it before I watch the show. But I might just have to bite that bullet and just watch it.
Okay, awesome.
And then read it afterwards.
No, you have a lot of merchandise that you get out there. Tell me about getting into the merch space and why that was important for you.
Honestly, what made me create and start putting, like you see, I got my Black Gay Comic Geek logo on the shirt. Like what got me doing that is the people that watch my content. They're the ones that were like, you should have merch. And I'm like, what? But like, who am I? Like, why would anybody want to buy a shirt that says Black Gay Comic Geek? Like, I didn't think that would make sense, but a couple people, a decent amount of people were like, no, if you had a logo on the shirt, and then they're like, I'm also a Black Gay Comic Geek, so I would wear a Black Gay Comic Geek shirt. Or if I'm not a Black Gay Comic Geek, I support your channel and I support your brand. Like they were like, I don't have nothing to do with Nike, but I'll still wear a Nike shirt. So because people were saying that, I was like, okay, so I'll make some merch. So I not only just have my Black Gay Comic Geek logo, but like I mentioned, I always say things I love to talk about is blood, sex, gore, and magic. I have that on the shirt. At the start of every video that I do, I say, welcome to my safe haven. I have that on the shirt. And then there's also a phrase that I mentioned on TikTok where I talking a lot about representation. And so I also talk about a lot of fantasy books and fantasy comics, etc. So I always say you need to decolonize your fantasy.
Yes.
Stop reading fantasy and stop reading shows or things written only by straight white men. There's more than just that, or even straight white women. There's more than just that out there. There's books by queer men, queer women, trans women. Decolonize your fantasy. So I put that on the shirt as well with the nice little design.
And that's important that one does that, decolonize. I know for many of us, we grew up reading so many things by, you know, white straight authors, by white straight writers. And, you know, for many of us, that's how we got into fantasy or science fiction or whatever in the first place. And so now, you know, that we're older and we're able to kind of pick, choose, and refuse what content we have. I know that there is much more representation there. You know, we are now able to choose those kind of things. Let me know what upcoming, you know, comic properties are you excited for? Give me your top 3, you know, upcoming things. It can be either comic book, movie, TV show, whatever it may be, game that you're excited for, especially in the new year.
I could jump into each category. Comics, I'm excited about the new Monica Rambeau series that's coming out. I think it's coming out next month. It actually, and I've been saying for years that I wanted Monica Rambeau to finally get her own solo comic, because I'm like, she was the original female Captain Marvel before they gave it to Carol Danvers. They should have let her keep it. Keep the Marvel name. But like, she's led the Avengers at one point. She's stupidly powerful. She's more powerful than Carol Danvers.
She is.
Yeah, and so I'm like, she's led the Avengers at one point back in the 80s when she was Captain Marvel. So I'm like, why has she never had a solo comic? And now for the first time, she's going to have a solo. It kind of sucks that it's only a limited series. I'm like, why is it every time it's a Black or queer character, and anytime they get a comic, it's always a limited run? They did the same thing with Wiccan and Hulkling. They gave them a limited run, but then the limited run was only on Marvel Unlimited. So you had to have the Marvel Unlimited app to be able to read it. And it sold a lot. And so they brought it back.
They're very popular. They're very popular.
I love Wiccan and Hulkling. I can't wait to see them in the live action. Like, I'm like, give Marvel, y'all better not, like, I will storm the Capitol. I will storm the Capitol if y'all piss me off with this Wiccan and Hulkling. And don't give it to me, because Marvel loves queer baiting. But like, the issue was popular, and so they brought it back for Marvel Unlimited. It's currently running right now, written by Josh Trujillo. But again, it's only on Marvel Unlimited. But I'm like, give them a solo book. But we're finally getting that with Monica Rambeau, written by the great Eve Ewing, who also wrote the Ironheart comic book that was out. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about in terms of video games, the new what's the game Forspoken that's coming out. Only because I don't know anything about the game. Could be trash for all I know. But one thing about, again, representation, like how many games, especially like think about this year, how many video games came out this year where the lead was a Black or brown person of color?
Not very much.
Like, I can't think of really any games that came out this year with the lead. And I'm not talking about games where you could create your own character. Like, those don't count. I mean, like the lead. And Forspoken is one of those. So hopefully it's good. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping it's good. Another game, of course, you know, Spider-Man 2 and on PlayStation 5. I'm definitely excited about that.
Definitely excited for that, and I believe that you can switch between Peter and Miles in that one.
Yeah, you'll be able to switch between Peter and Miles.
That's really exciting.
And plus the first PS4 Spider-Man or PS5 Spider-Man. Well, it came out PS4 first, but then they changed it. But that game was incredible. I loved it. And then they did the Miles Morales game.
I played those 2 games so much. I'm
actually replaying. I'm going back and forth because I re-downloaded. I just beat God of War Ragnarok. And then they also updated The Witcher 3 for PS5.
For PS5.
I haven't played The Witcher for PS4. So now I'm getting back into that. Then I started replaying, so I'm going back and forth replaying the Miles Morales game. So I'm playing that and Witcher, going back and forth between that. And then also what else? I'm like drawing a blank on. There's like a lot of games coming out next year that I'm super excited about. Silent Hill 2, they're rebooting that. Resident Evil 4, they're rebooting that. And I love Resident Evil 4. Like, horror is how I got into fantasy and all that stuff.
Wonderful. And
then movies like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Like, I can't wait to see, again, talk about Jonathan Majors. My Jonathan Majors is Kane the Conqueror, the Marvels with Carol, Monica, and Miss Marvel. And yeah, there's a lot that I'm
Awesome,
excited for in
awesome. There's a
2023.
lot coming out. There's a lot coming out, and I'm glad that for so many of the new things coming out, we do have, a lot of representation coming out. Like for example, the Marvels, as you mentioned, we're seeing Monica Rambeau, and finally Monica Rambeau in her full power and everything, along with
Yeah,
Miss Marvel there, along with Carol.
and
That's
and
gonna
they
be
they
great.
they released the like where you saw like her costume, like
Mm-hmm,
Monica's costume,
mm-hmm.
and I also went to D23 this year, and so they showed a
Okay.
little clip from the Marvels, and so yeah, seeing Monica in her full costume, like she looks incredible. So I'm excited.
Now, what's something that has not been announced yet, but someone or something that you would like to see them develop? For example, Miles Morales in live action. What's something that hasn't happened yet that you're looking forward to, or you're hopeful happening within the comic space?
I'm like easy, like, and I keep trying to get James Gunn's attention. I was like, I don't care if I need to tweet this man every single day for him to notice me, senpai. But like, especially with the whole rebooting of the DC universe and them doing, and especially with James Gunn running it, and he loves doing his rated R superhero properties, whether it's the Suicide Squad or with Peacemaker. I want him to do a live action, whether it's a movie or HBO Max series. I don't care. I don't really have I would actually prefer an HBO Max series only because we have more time with the characters. But give it to me regardless. I want a live action Midnighter and Apollo.
There we go.
For DC. And if, for those of you out there that maybe don't know, Midnighter and Apollo, they started off as Wild Force characters or Wildstorm characters, but then they got bought into DC's, and they're basically Wildstorm's version, their gay version of Batman and Superman. They're actually married in the comics, and Apollo is more of the character that's modeled after Superman. He gets his powers from the sun. And all that, but he also has power, like he can shoot solar energy out of his hands, fists, and everything like that. And Midnighter is like the version of Batman, but Midnighter has powers. Like his brain is almost like a computer brain, so he can come up with, like, he can see any scenario that could possibly happen in like millions of different scenarios in like a second. So it's pretty hard to beat him in a fight.
Certainly.
Almost like, think about if you guys have seen like the Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey Jr. How he saw those scenarios before.
Oh yes.
That's kind of like that's kind of like what Midnighter does.
Oh, that is exciting. Well, I hope that actually does happen, soon enough. That will.
And I'm like, consider it. And I'm like, somebody needs to hire me to run these companies, because I'm like, you will automatically get the press right there in terms of like DC does the first gay superhero movie or whatever. And also you're trying to chase the Deadpool audience of like Deadpool being a rated R superhero movie. So you got the gay audience with the gay superhero movies. You're already getting out the clout with that under the belt of like DC did the first movie or whatever, so you're celebrating for that, and you'll get like the Deadpool audience with it, because Midnighter and Apollo are very rated R, almost in a Mortal Kombat type of way. He's ripping out heads and holding it by the, with the brain set. Like, they're very rated R. So,
and we know you like the blood and the gore.
Blood, sex, gore, and magic, and they're all of that.
They're all of that.
And it's almost breaking stereotypes with Midnighter being the main hero, and he's Midnight is a bottom for his husband. So there you go. Like, you're breaking stereotypes that the manly man is.
Yes,
he's a bottom.
I love it. I love it. Well, Michael, how can people find out more about you? How can they connect with you and keep up with everything that you are doing?
Oh yeah, I'm all over the interwebs, as they say. You can find me everywhere, Black Gay Comic Geek, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all Black Gay Comic Geek.
Awesome. Black Gay Comic Geek. Well, we're going to have links in the description so our viewers can go ahead and check you out. How can people also get your merch?
You can actually, on every site, there's a link in the bio. You can see it right here on the photo screen. There's a Connect Me bio. You click the link. Once you go onto the link, it'll send you to another. You'll see like merch store. So then you just click the link that says merch store, and it'll take you to my Safe Haven store. You want to get a Black Gay Comic Geek shirt, or you want to get it on a mug, or you want to get it on a pillowcase, or welcome to my safe haven. Get that.
Perfect. Well, Michael, thank you so much for joining me today. It has been such a pleasure, and I look forward to all the things you're looking forward to as well. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
To our viewers, please follow Team Rayceen Productions at Team Rayceen on all forms of social media. Click around our YouTube channel and check out our other interviews, vlogs, forums, and more. And while you're at it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But most of all, thank you for watching.